Welcome to Life Rebounding. As we continue in our look at identity statements found in Ephesians 1, I want to look at Ephesians 1, verse 12 today and put it in this frame that we were in mind before we were in view. We were in mind before we were in view. And this is what verse 12 says, in order that we who were the first to hope in Christ might be to the praise of his glory. I don't know if I have ever come first in anything. In any race that I've run, any competition I've been in. As a matter of fact, as a kid growing up playing baseball as a teenager, I played in a two-team league. The other team both won the schedule and the championship, but the league decided at the banquet at the end of the year that they didn't want to give both sets of trophies to the same team, so we became the schedule winners as opposed to the championship team. Talk about backing into a trophy. Well, that was the only trophy I ever got in my life because I just never finished first with anything. But here's the thing. Paul reminds us that there were those who believed first, and he refers in particular to those Jews who first put their trust in the Messiah, those who had come from that place of expectation that one would come who would deliver Israel from their sin and from slavery, that being Jesus. And Paul talks about them being the first to believe, and then also he'll make reference to those who believed also in the next verse, the Gentiles who soon followed in belief. And I remember I was watching the memorial service the other day for Ravi Zacharias, and Sanj Kalra spoke about his relationship with Ravi and how Ravi led him to Christ, and Sanj looked at one point at himself and Ravi, and he kind of had this kind of exclamation where he said, wow, now there's two of us Indians who believe in Christ, who are followers of Christ. I remember that feeling when I first put my trust in Christ. I was in high school, and as I looked around, I didn't see a whole lot of evidence that anybody else in my school was a follower of Jesus. I was in a school of about 1,500 people at the time, and I couldn't see any evidence that there were many people, if any, who had put their trust in Christ. I would later learn that there were a lot more than I thought there were, but when I first believed, it was a feeling of isolation. Well, Paul reminds us here that those who are first to believe carry with them the distinction of carrying forward a legacy of life and faith that we pass along to others. Now let me ask you this question. Are you the first one to believe in your family? Are you the first one to believe in your dorm and university? Are you the first one to believe in your school? Or maybe your office at work? Are you the first one to believe, to put your hope in Christ and your family and social network? Well, if you are, let me encourage you today to let the light of Jesus Christ so shine through you that others may see the hope that you have and ask you for the reason for the hope that's within you. And I'd encourage you to be prepared to give an answer for that hope. Let your life be to the praise and glory of God. That's what Paul tells us is going on here. Those who are the first to believe are to the praise and glory of Christ. As heirs, God has us in mind to be for his praise and glory long before we ever came into view. What do we bring? Just ourselves. We can't bring any accomplishments. We can't bring any works of merit. We can't pay a price. All we can bring is ourselves in humility, surrendered before the one who bought our lives at the cross of Calvary so that we could live. What do we bring? We bring our failures and our successes. We bring our victories and our messes. All of it. Because Jesus can use it all in our lives to touch the lives of people around us. Well, you were in mind long before you were in view from God's perspective. And maybe you're the first in your circle to put your trust and your hope in Christ. If so, then let the light and the love of Jesus Christ so radiate your life that it begins to radiate the lives of people around you.